everybody, day 2 of beautiful peacocks. Today we are going to finish coloring them or start coloring them if you didn't last week, and we're going to paint the background with watercolor. You can paint your backgrounds any color you want. I mixed blue and green to paint my background, but you could put yellow would be beautiful, or orange. Any color you wanted to put back there would look great. And if your peacock fills your page as much as mine does, you probably won't need a ton of watercolor. Other supplies you're gonna need today are your oil pastels, and that should do it. Let's get started. We're gonna use oil pastels for the whole bird. If you don't have oil pastels, feel free to use crayons or colored pencils. Colored pencils is gonna take you a long time. I used 3 blues and like a jade green on my peacock. So I picked like a medium royally blue and I colored fairly consistently, but I left a little bit of the white space showing, kind of just in the middle of his body under his eye. I didn't fill in all the space because I wanted to go in on the edges and make those a little bit darker blue. And then at the top, on the top of his head, I'm gonna make that a little bit lighter blue. So I used my dark blue on the edges. You can turn your paper if you need to. Try not to drag your hand across your paper after you've already gone over with oil pastel. So if you wanna get a scrap piece of paper to put down under your hand so you don't smear the body of your bird, you can do that. So I went over, don't forget with oil pastels, you can layer your colors. So I went over my lighter blue with my darker blue a little bit. And then you could also come back in on top of that dark blue with your lighter blue. Now I think I'm using like, it's almost like a turquoise color, but it's got a little bit more yellow in it than turquoise. So it's kind of like a medium aqua color. Maybe I used 4 or 5 different colors on my bird. I lost count. And now I'm gonna come on top with like a jade green in this center area and blend all these colors in with jade green. And then I realized the top of my head is a little bit too light, so I'm gonna come on top of there with the initial, my first color that I started with, that nice medium royal blue color. I have silver and gold, so I colored that feathers around his eye silver, and then I colored the beak like the lightest yellow color that I have because their beaks are kind of white, but you can make the beak yellow or whatever color you want. Now for the feathers on his back that look like roof tiles or fish scales, I am gonna blend from a lime green to a medium green to turquoise, and then to a darker blue at the end. But you could really make that however bright you wanted to. A lot of times you see their dark blue, and then sometimes you see their like lime green and yellow. So you could do whatever, pretty much whatever color scheme you want on his back there. Don't be afraid to blend your colors and even come back in on top of them with on top of the darker colors with a lighter color. In some of my pictures, these individual little feathers on his back were really big, so I colored each one individually. But in this case, my bird is a little smaller, so it would have been too difficult for me to do that with these big fat oil pastels. The center of the eyes of the feathers are usually a couple different shades of blue, so that's what I'm doing now. And there's a little bit of orange and yellow right around those center, this is the eye of the feather, it's called. And then you can make the plumes blue or green, or you could make them gold, blue, and green. If you have gold or bronze or silver in your oil pastels, it might be fun to use some of that in the feathers as well. Don't forget to color the stems of the feathers, and don't forget to color the crown that hopefully you drew on top of your peacock's head. Stems of the peacock's feather are pretty stiff, but they have these really delicate, beautiful little feathery things that come off on either side. Almost like, it kind of reminds me of really, really, really long eyelashes, but they're not eyelashes, they're part of the feather. I'm finished coloring and I'm ready to paint my background. I'm gonna wet both of the colors that I want to use, my kind of darker green and my lighter blue. And I'm not gonna mix them up in a separate place. I'm just gonna put a little green on top of the turquoise and mix them right on the palette. And I want to make like an aqua color for my background. I think any color would be really pretty behind the bird. Like if you decided to do like a purple color, then it would look very much like a cool color painting. If you decided to do like an orange or yellow, it would really make the bird stand out if your bird didn't have too much yellow in it. So whatever color you want to use is great. Remember to fill in as many of the white spaces as you can see. These projects always come out so beautiful. So if you think about it and you'd like to send me a picture, I would love to see it. I'm gonna leave you with a slide of the peacocks, one up close so you can see the coloration on the chest and the eye of the blue peacock. And then the bigger picture is a green peacock. So enjoy. See you next class.